All right, another 49ers update here from the team facility. Good news, Christian McCaffrey felt no pain in his Achilles after practicing for the first time Monday. So he was back out there today. And if he continues to feel no pain throughout this week, the 49ers expect him to play on Sunday against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Locker room obviously re-energized by Christian McCaffrey being back out on that practice field. Nick Bosa even mentioned that today. He's got another teammate who's also back out on the field. That's Jauan Jennings. Hip injury kept him out for 2 games, but Jauan back for the second straight practice today. Oh, and here's a shot of Ricky Pearsall dancing on the practice field. I spoke to Rookie in the locker room today, and I asked him how many times he'd repped that out pattern where Brock Purdy put the football on him before he even came out of his cut, when he was still in the stem of his route. And Pearsall actually said that he and Purdy had gotten quite a bit of practice relative to the short amount of time that he's been back out at practice for the 49ers. So over the course of 2 weeks, several times Ricky Pearsall and Brock Purdy got to work on that pass against the Cowboys, which is a dangerous one. You throw a ball out toward the sideline before your receiver is turning around. If something goes bad, if the timing isn't right, it can turn into a very damaging giveaway. Pearsall did tell me that he had never repped the jet sweep, which to me is remarkable. There's a lot of trust there. That receiver's coming full speed in motion before the ball is handed to him. So if you never rep that play, well, something could go wrong. But the 49ers trusted Ricky Pearsall and Brock Purdy to get the timing right, and they obviously did. It was a big 30-plus yard gain against the Cowboys last Sunday. Actually, 2 Sundays ago, right? Because the 49ers were on their bye week this past Sunday. That means they're going to be fresh, or much fresher, entering this game against Tampa Bay. The Buccaneers, meanwhile, they're on a short week. They played Monday night and they went into overtime. Kyle Shanahan joked today that he was hoping Tampa Bay would play multiple overtimes against the Chiefs. Obviously, that's impossible, but the point is still taken as San Francisco finally has the rare rest advantage entering this game in Florida. It's going to be up to 87 degrees on Sunday, by the way. Although it is November, it also is Florida, and that means the 49ers have to wear their home red jerseys because the home team, Tampa Bay, has elected to try to stay cooler in their white jerseys. 49ers practicing out in the reds today on the field, but I think it's fitting because Vivid Seats projects that the 49ers and their crowd will have 59% of the stands in this game. 59% of the fans in this game will be 49ers fans, according to a projection. Again, I had to repeat it because this is an Eastern time zone game, and that is not normal. But as we know, 49ers fans have taken over stadium after stadium after stadium, and this time it looks like it's going to be Tampa Bay. By the way, we're going to have a fan meetup. I'm going to be at the Niner Empire fan meetup, Gasper's Grotto in Tampa Bay, 8 o'clock on Saturday, 8 p.m. on Saturday. Don't worry, not going to make you guys come out to the bar at 8 a.m. And maybe something in the afternoon as well if we're hopping around. I just haven't decided exactly when I'm flying into Tampa yet. So Gasper's Grotto is the call. That is the 49ers. Our third fan meetup. This one, though, we're going to just combine with fan meetup that is already happening just because efficiency is needed when you're on the road and there's not a lot of time. I'm sure people will be out for a couple nights in Tampa ahead of this game on Sunday. More 49ers injury stuff. Yetur Gross-Matos, his practice window has been opened. I mentioned that in the update before this. Yetur might be back this week, although the 49ers have previously said they expect November 17th in the Seahawks for their defensive lineman coming off a knee injury. A couple new players out of practice today. Russell Gage, new receiver on the practice squad, previously with the Atlanta Falcons and with Tampa Bay, whom they're playing this weekend. Russell Gage, not slow, runs a 4.4 40, 28 years old. Saw him in the locker room today. Looks like he's got some muscle to him, so he should be able to give the 49ers some blocking depth. And, hey, they needed that position fortified, the receiver position fortified, and they hope that Russell Gage is going to be able to do that for them. Beyond Russell Gage, also Khalil Davis was out of practice for San Francisco today. This was cool. I walked up to Khalil in the locker room, and he was like, "Hey, I just saw you made a video about me yesterday." We didn't know each other, obviously, until today, but I guess he was able to see either the Twitter or the YouTube channel. New defensive tackle, 49ers picked Khalil Davis up via trade with the Houston Texans, a 2026 seventh round pick. So between Khalil Davis, Russell Gage, and Tashawn Gibson, the veteran safety re-signed to the 49ers, San Francisco did not have to use a single 2025 draft pick to fortify roster depth at three areas of need. Really the three areas of need that we had talked most about entering the trade deadline. But now it is time to move past the trade deadline into this game against Tampa Bay. 49ers at 4-4. Practice report today, Kevin Givens out with a groin injury, so that might make the return or the addition of Khalil Davis all the more urgent for the 49ers. Chris Conley, he had been classified as week to week after the Dallas game with a hamstring injury. He also didn't practice for the 49ers. And Charvarius Ward is currently away from the team. As you know, his one-year-old daughter, Amani Joy, tragically passed away last week. The funeral is on Friday in Dallas. So Ward is currently away from the team with that funeral coming up this week. And the 49ers are going to give him as much time as he needs. They haven't even begun discussing the potential timeline of a return, as they shouldn't. Obviously, some things are much, much bigger than football. And as Charvarius Ward and his family lean on him through this time of tragedy, the 49ers are going to do what they can to support one of their own. And our thoughts and prayers obviously still go out to Charvarius Ward's family. That is the practice report from today. 49ers will be back at it on Thursday. And then on Friday, after a half-speed session, they're going to fly out to Tampa. Then they play the Bucs. Then they come back here for a game against the Seahawks. That's a big divisional matchup. So the 49ers looking to be 6-4 before they head to Green Bay in late November. There's that stretch against Green Bay and Buffalo. It's going to be very, very challenging. I think just looking at it from afar, you say, you try to win one of those two, right? Maybe they win both, maybe they lose both, but I think 1-1 it could be a solid, bigger picture goal for the 49ers. But before you get to that point, you got to take care of business in two games in which you'll be favored by about a touchdown against Tampa Bay, and then they will be favored next week against the Seattle Seahawks. First things first, that's practice report for Wednesday.